Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Well, as if things weren't interesting enough, with these new revelations over the past couple of weeks, everyone's been talking about the admittance by the government, basically, the DoD and the Pentagon, that they were running this secret UFO hunting program, along with the release of two specific pieces of UFO footage that everyone else and their grandmother, and including myself, have run to death on their channels, of these objects being tracked by fighter jets back in 2004. And if that wasn't enough, we now have the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, jumping into the mix and posting things on Twitter, pretending to be our old pals from across the street, like they're best friends with the truth seeker community. And so it seems like, I don't really know what type of game they're playing, but I'll go ahead and show you the tweet here. So this was posted on the official CIA Twitter page, where above this vintage photograph of what appears to be a flying saucer moving in the distance, they captioned it saying, quote, "trying to photograph a UFO," which was then followed by a link. And when you visit the link, this is the page we get. And again, this is the official CIA website, where they expand upon their tweet saying, "trying to photograph a UFO. You never know what you'll find when browsing through CIA's FOIA archives or Freedom of Information Act archives." They go on to say that in celebration of World UFO Day, we dug up some long-lost tips on how to take photographs of UFOs. How kind of them. Guidance for UFO photographers, where they link to a PDF, and UFO photographic information sheet. And basically these PDFs lead to, again, what appear to be some more vintage documents that look like they were typed up in an old CIA office back in 1954. That basically tell you how to shoot a UFO with a camera, all of the same tips, keep the camera still, make sure you use the correct exposure, and so on. And so back to the post here, it continues, quote, "That begs the question, did the CIA really investigate UFOs? This is one of the most common FOIA inquiries we receive. Whether a skeptic or believer, discover the facts for yourself by taking a peek into our X-Files, and then learn all of the ins and outs of how to investigate a flying saucer claim." Well now. It's really strange to me. I don't know what the CIA or their handlers over at the UFO desk are trying to do with this. This seems to be an older post from back in July of this year. However, they did just post this tweet to their official page. And of course, as the CIA always does, obviously they are not going to actually post any UFO pictures or video. No, they deem to go with this sort of vintage, triple-scanned, black and white newspaper copy of probably one of the most well-known saucer photographs that you can pull up when researching back into the history of UFO sightings during the 40s and 50s and 60s. And of course, they link us to a few PDFs telling us how we can shoot or investigate UFOs. It's very playful in their wording, asking us whether it begs the question, did the CIA really investigate UFOs? Kind of toying with you. When it comes to the CIA, or really any U.S. intelligence agency, you really can't trust a damn word they say. And I further believe that this stuff, this suddenly trying to fit in with the social media crowd and the truth seeker crowd, posting fun little UFO tweets like this, I find it extremely contemptuous. And nothing more than these agencies toying with us because they know about the recent revelations that came out of the Pentagon. They know that people are now talking. And it now seems as if they want to get into the UFO hunting game by posting these little cryptic tweets and posts, making it seem like they've been our best friends for years now. And why they're doing it, I don't know. Maybe they're doing it to put channels like mine and other UFO researchers out of business. Maybe they think that if they come out and act like, well, we've known all along about UFOs, then maybe people will really stop caring and stop looking too deep into it. They post a crappy vintage pic like this, and suddenly tomorrow we're going to be seeing mainstream news posting stories about how the CIA has just admitted that the UFO phenomenon is real and have posted a brand new explosive UFO photograph. But to all of us, this is child's play. And, you gotta question what the point is. There's a saying I kind of live by when it comes to these agencies. And it basically goes that you never trust a person or an agency that has let you down more than 2 times. Because once is a warning, twice was a lesson, and anything more than that is simply taking advantage. And with all of the nasty stuff that we know that the CIA has gotten into in the past, I think it's safe to say we can take this stuff with a grain of salt. So, let me know what you guys think about this new tweet. And are they just kind of playfully stoking the flames because they know the UFO topic is hot right now? We have these new revelations. And by the way, we have some new information about where exactly these 2 pieces of new UFO footage came from. Now, if you've been following my channel for the past couple of weeks, you'll know I've done countless videos on the releasing of 2 pieces of UFO videos by the Pentagon. Or that's at least what everyone was reporting, that the Pentagon released them. Or that it was Tom DeLonge who somehow released them. But that's not true either. Basically, what had happened is that the guy who actually headed up the Pentagon's secret UFO hunting program, who goes by the name of Luis Elizondo, it was him who got a hold of these 2 pieces of UFO footage. The first one that was originally released came from back in 2004, and that was this footage here, taken from the USS Nimitz, after jets were scrambled to follow what was described as a tic-tac-shaped object that was maneuvering and pretty much leaving these jets in the dust. And so that was the first piece of footage, and the most recent everyone's been talking about is another piece from back in 2004, showing what many people have described as the saucer, where again, a set of jets were scrambled to track this thing. You can see it moving, displaying what many believe is anti-gravity tech. And so, people were talking about how the Pentagon had released this footage. Well, the Pentagon didn't release a thing. This guy who resigned from this secret UFO hunting program, Mr. Elizondo, essentially got the videos under somewhat false pretenses. And this has been verified and according to a story in the Washington Post. Basically, while he was in the Pentagon, claimed that he wanted to use these 2 UFO videos never before seen by the public for, quote, training pilots. All right, so he's going to take them out and use them to train these up-and-coming new pilots. He didn't say that he wanted to use the videos to demonstrate that UFOs are real, which is exactly what is happening now. And that is why it is said these clips are so short in nature, especially the second and newest piece that has just been released this past week or so. And there's so little information attached to the clips. And so it seems that they, in the Pentagon, perhaps thought that just in case somebody ever did get a hold of these videos, that they would at least shorten the clips, remove as much identifiable information as possible. That way, if someone did smuggle them out, there wouldn't be much there to see. And so this is how he got these clips, these videos out of the Pentagon. And the Pentagon admits that they did not intend that these videos be used for any of these purposes, okay? They were supposed to stay locked up, and they weren't, and this guy got them out. So I say kudos to him. At least we have something, at least we have something that's never before been seen. It comes from a legitimate source, straight up from the DoD and the Pentagon. We recently had one of the fighter pilots who manned one of the jets that was following this UFO, who flat out stated that it was nothing that he had ever seen before. The way it moved, the way it looked. And again, this is a professional, seasoned, respected pilot. So, if you guys want more proof, that's more proof right there. I know there are some naysayers out there who are saying, well, the footage looks faked. The pilots could have just been chasing another fighter jet. I've heard that from a few different places. And while I agree, that could be, I just don't see it. And again, we have the pilot there admitting that it wasn't another jet. Obviously, he would know what another jet would look like. He said it was nothing he'd ever seen before, so there's your answer. But I wanted to clarify where these videos come from. We now know that they were smuggled out, and the plot just keeps on thickening. So it does make you wonder, are there any more UFO clips out there that have yet to be released? We also have the new information about the so-called crash debris that were recovered from a UFO and that are now being stored in a custom underground warehouse out in Las Vegas, Nevada, with reports that some of this material, this metal, these fragments, when touched by humans, causes a reaction with the humans themselves when touched. That, again, it's thickening the plot even more, if you guys see what I'm talking about. So we're kind of getting this information, drip fed like normal. We've got a lot of good people doing research, investigating this. I myself included. I've developed a lot of sources over the past 5 years that I've operated this channel. Pilots being a ton of pilots, a ton of insiders. We recently had Dr. Greer on. And so believe me when I say that I am out here grinding, trying to figure out anything I can before the mainstream gets it and gets to twist it. So I guess we will just see what happens, but in the meantime, you guys know if there's one place that's going to get to the bottom of this stuff, it's this channel right here. And with this community of 1.3 million strong. So stay on your toes, guys. Keep your cameras ready. Stick around, and I'll see you back in just a bit.